New construction is everywhere, and if you're thinking about making a move to the Northern Kentucky area or within the Northern Kentucky area, there are lots of new construction options for you. So today we're going to talk about some shocking things I discovered in the new construction market, different new construction markets within the area of Northern Kentucky, and some things you want to consider if you're thinking about building a new home. Stay tuned. So before we start talking about the different areas and communities within Northern Kentucky that you can actually build a new home, let's start at the beginning of 3 things that you should consider if you are thinking about building a new home. So jumping right into it, at number 1 is build quality. So it's no surprise that land prices have skyrocketed over the past few years, not just for you as a consumer, but for builders as well. So with the rising costs of land means build prices increase as well. So something you want to think about when building a new home is what are their standards when it comes to build quality. A couple years ago, it could have been a higher quality standard grade carpet that you got, and now it may be a little lower quality because they've got to save money somewhere because of their acquisition costs of getting the land. So something you want to ask the builders or your real estate agent that's helping you is, what's the standard grade that comes with everything? Does granite or quartz countertops come included? 9-foot ceilings, 10-foot ceilings? What are these options? And then another thing I always like to tell people is with model homes. You're going to walk in that model home and their goal is to make you fall in love with it. And keep in mind though that they have chosen the top of the line everything for that model home. So to get that in a reproduction cost is going to cost you 6 figures, if not multiple 6 figures to reproduce. So what I always recommend to my clients is, let's look through something that they are already in the process of building or just finished that's going to give you a more realistic expectation of what you're going to get as a buyer. And then lastly, before you do the final contract signing, do a build out to find out exactly what the costs are going to be to get the home and selections that you want. And the second thing you want to consider is builder incentives. This is something that can vary greatly from builder to builder. So builder incentives could be something such as they're offering a certain amount of money towards upgrades or a percentage off of upgrades, or maybe they're offering to buy your rate down if you use their preferred lender. So instead of getting a 7% interest rate, maybe they'll help buy it down to a 6% interest rate. They can also do things such as contributing to some of your closing costs. Again, these are typically going to require you to use their preferred lender. But it is a really good thing to know because it could be the difference of maybe you're still paying a little bit higher price than you want, but helping buy down that interest rate can actually get your payment to where you want. And then some other things to consider with builder incentives are, not only is each builder different, the time of year in which you build a home can be different. If it's a little bit slower market, they might beef up those incentives a little bit, whereas if homes are flying off the shelves, they may not have necessarily as much of a motive to offer all of these free incentives, but it's a great thing to ask. It's also why I always recommend to speak to your real estate agent beforehand, because they should know what these builder incentives are or have the connections to find out for you. And the third thing you want to consider is what's coming to that neighborhood or community, especially if you built a home specifically because it's in a certain school district, or because you liked that it was peaceful, or you liked where it was next to other sort of amenities. You want to know what's coming in the future, what's in the pipeline for that neighborhood. Are they about to explode and put a bunch of houses stacked on top of each other and that's not initially what you thought? Or there's a new school coming to the district that could redistrict your children when that's the reason you moved there to begin with. And just knowing, is there going to be more restaurants, entertainment, all that stuff. And to keep in mind, it's nothing against the builder representatives, but understand that they work for the builder. So if you want to truly know what's going on in the area, you really need to do your own research or rely on your real estate agent to let you know what's coming to the area, so you don't end up buying a home in a quiet, peaceful street, only to come to find out a few years later they expand it to a 5-lane road, and there goes your peace and quiet. So something really interesting about new construction and new construction home sales is the first quarter of 2024, a third of all home sales were made up from new construction homes. So that's why there's been this boom in price that you've been seeing in new construction, but it's because there's been a pent up demand and housing market, and new construction has been there to fill that void. Guess how many new construction communities there are developing currently in Northern but we counted about 75. And that's not including all of the random side streets that they have homes being built on. And another neat thing about Northern Kentucky is there's a lot of rural areas where you can buy a small lot or a plot of land and bring your own builder or custom builder and develop a home on that plot of land. So that's a really cool thing about Northern Kentucky that I like a lot is you have options. So now let's talk a little bit about the best areas if you're thinking about building a new construction home. So you're primarily going to be looking in 3 different counties in Northern Kentucky: Boone County, Kenton County, and Campbell County. We've been boots on the ground today, mostly in Boone County. We were in Valley Shannon. Now we're in the community of Rivers Point. There's still plenty of more opportunities. You have Triple Crown, Orleans, and much more. And then in Kenton County, you've got communities such as Sanctuary Village, which is really neat. You've got single family homes and townhomes, and they're putting some retail space in the community, so you don't really even have to leave much if you don't want to. And then you've also got, going a little further south in Independence, you can get some more house for your money and the villages of DeCourcy or areas like Stonewater, because the city of Independence, it's again a little more rural. So if you're trying to get the most house for your dollar, you'd want to look in areas like that. And then moving over to Campbell County, there's no community bigger in Campbell County than Arcadia, where you can get single family homes and condos. And of course, there's no way I can possibly go over all those 75 communities that I mentioned earlier, but this is an idea and the different variations that are offered. If you do want a full breakdown of a county that you're interested, drop in the comments below or reach out to us and we'll get that over to you. So thinking about it, there really are a lot of options in the Northern Kentucky area, from all of the new construction that we went over today to the existing options that we have as well. So if you're thinking about buying or selling in the Northern Kentucky area, my team would love to be a resource for you to help you make your decision. I'll put our contact information on the screen here. Don't hesitate to reach out, and we look forward to talking to you soon.